Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. Before we start with this, a small reminder that if you have not started or you've not heard these editorial discussions of the previous month, kindly start doing that because you can see that every editorial that we discuss, every passage, every article that we discuss, it contains many words, many difficult words, so to say that you need to understand them contextually, as well as you should know the literal meaning of that word, right? So the best thing that you have to do is the daily article that you get here, go through that. And if you have not done of the previous ones, kindly do one article, one recording of that article also. So you'll be coming up with two per day. So I think so this much time you all should devote if you have to improve in reading uh, skills, applying the techniques of reading, and enriching your vocabulary. So this is a must. Underline that this is a must. ऐसा करोगे तो then you will be able to take time out for this because it hardly takes you 15 to 20 minutes on a daily basis. So this much you can devote your time to. Now this is cycle of impunity, and if you have heard this word impunity, it can come with the word punishment or so. Not being punished will be impunity. So let us see this cycle. On May 23rd, 1987, a mob allegedly accompanied by personnel of the UP armed constabulary surrounded Malana village on the outskirts of Meerut and opened fire. 68 Muslims were killed in the violence that followed. The wheels of justice moved painfully slow for riot survivors and families of the victims. This is the author's point, right? That it was slow. That means his judgment on what was going on. This is a fact, and on this basis, he comes up with his own opinion that it was painfully slow for rights survivors and families of the victims. After nearly 36 years and more than 800 court hearings, their battle for a closure of sorts ended in dejection last week on March 31. A district court acquired on the case. Now, the verdict shows the investigation processes in the case in poor light. Verdict भी हुआ, उनके against हुआ. So poor light and raises questions over the competence and commitment of the law enforcement agencies to bring the guilty to book. To bring somebody to book का मतलब होता है उसे उसके किए की सजा मिलनी चाहिए. That is it, right? So to bring to book का मतलब होता है उनका नाम ऐसा होता है ना, रजिस्टर में नाम लिखा जाता है. बुक उसको कहते हैं जहां पे नाम लिखा जाता है, राइट? टू ब्रिंग समबडी टू बुक मतलब आप जबरदस्ती किसी का नाम लिख रहे हो. ये जबरदस्ती कब होगा? जब आपने कुछ गलती की हो तो आपका नाम इधर लिखा जाएगा, ठीक है? सो यू आर ब्रिंगिंग द गिल्टी टू बुक, that is being punished. So that May riots had rocked Meerut over the opening of the locks of the Babri Masjid on May 22, a day before the violence in Malana. A PSC team rounded up over 40 men, all Muslims from neighboring Hashimpura, and shot them here. Shot them. Here too, the trial dragged on. Here too का मतलब ये एक second incident है. So this is fact one, this is fact two. Incidents are given here. And dragged on, ठीक है? And moved painfully slow. तो dragged on का meaning आ जाएगा समझ में. For close to 30 years, and the prosecution failed to prove its case. Here was the case of poor light, right? So failed to prove its case in the first attempt in front of a trial court in 2015. It was later revealed that the EMC's general diary had been withheld from the courts by the investigating agencies. This allowed for the Delhi High Court to pin the crime on the accused in 2018 in Malana to the prosecuting team's shoddy homework. Shoddy is something that is not up to the mark, right? Their homework was writ large during the ट्रायल. तो शॉडी होमवर्क वाज रिट लार्ज का मतलब होता है पूरे ट्रायल के दौरान उसका जो होमवर्क था, ठीक है, दैट वाज very evident that they have not done their work meticulously. So the Mathura court found several defects in its case, including contradictions in witness testimonies. The prosecution flouted even the court's basic paperwork protocol. It submitted photocopies of crucial documents such as postmortem reports, making them inadmissible as evidence. सोचो मतलब उन्होंने कैसे काम किया था, तो ये था shoddy homework. फोटोकॉपीज दे रहे हैं जबकि फोटोकॉपीज एविडेंस के तौर पे नहीं मानी जाती है. दिस इज व्हाट ही सेड. So the court pointed out that some of the accused were dead before the incident and the police had contrived to include their names in the voters list. Contrive का मतलब कुछ नहीं, कुछ scheme जैसे कर लिया था. This is a few of the words I have recently taken in a few batches also. So you can those who are reading this now or listening to this now can understand that how you come across the words either in the classes, either in the sheets that you are taking, or in the editorial, that is in the newspapers. कहीं ना कहीं वो words मिल जाते हैं. This is what I always say. You start reading, you will become focused on the words and you will get or you will come across more words. So the court pointed out that some of the accused were dead before the incident and the police had contrived to include their names on the in the voters list. The prosecution did not complete the cross-examination of the investigating officer. तो ये सारी चीजें क्या हैं? This is the shoddy homework that these people did, or on the cases raises question कि आखिर ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. The author ने क्या किया है? Now, if you consider the author's point of view, he's coming up with the incidents, with the examples, that is, giving you the facts of that incident, and then how long it took, or what was the verdict, whether it was against or it was for them. So the first point was given here about the victims, that whether they are getting the closure or no. तो यहाँ पे तो पहले dejection था, second वाले में भी नहीं था. So Mariana is illustrative of the continued insensitivity of the agencies and processes of the justice system towards riot victims from minority communities. Here comes the point. Insensitivity of the agencies and processes of the justice system towards riot victims from minority communities. ये तीन चीजें, एक insensitivity, that they are not working according to that you say the justice delayed is justice denied. तो ये 25 साल 30 साल इतना लेट अगर जस्टिस होता है तो फिर that is equivalent to justice denied. So this is what he's talking about, that the riot victims from the minority communities did not get the justice at a particular time. So this has been framed in the tortuous trajectories of cases such as the anti-Sikh riots in Delhi 1984 and Gujarat 2002. So NCR data show that less than 30% of riot cases in the past 5 years have resulted in convictions. This is what he's saying, less than 30%. In November last year, a court in the country's capital pulled up Delhi police for presenting irrelevant witness in a 2020 Northeast Delhi case. The failure to secure justice is not always because of the want of efficiency. Very often the agencies and the political establishment collude to subvert due process. Subvert का मतलब होता है उसे टर्न कर देना. Collude का मतलब होता है जो उन्होंने कहा था contrive, मिलके काम करना. And the Delhi High Court fact the institutional biases of law enforcement agencies and the cry for justice in Melana should not go unheeded. This is what the author is saying. तो ये रहा author का point, insensitivity towards the riot victims of minority communities, and they should not go unheeded. मतलब government agencies को या law enforcement agencies को, justice system को ध्यान देना चाहिए कि then this is not the way the justice should work. So it should not go unheeded. So the author's thought process is very easy to understand here, that he gave facts. That means fact 1, 2, 3. Incidents दिए उसने, ये सारे incidents हैं. ठीक है, तो fact means incidents. That means what? He started with the reasoning, the rationale, and then he comes with the point. And what was the point? That it was a slow process of justice, right? And the riot victims, are they given proper, what do you say, the judgment was in favor of them? No. So this is, and the riot victims कौन से थे? Minorities वाले. So if they are not getting justice, and that too after a long period, then this is something that should not go unheeded. मतलब इस पे ध्यान देना गवर्नमेंट को जरूरी है। ठीक है, अगर ये इतनी पॉइंट्स, इतना स्ट्रक्चर हमें पैसेज का समझ में आ गया तो नाउ यू नो द मेन आइडिया। अक्विटल ऑफ बनाना, अक्यूज्ड स्पीक्स, अक्विटल वर्ड हम कर चुके हैं पहले। स्पीक्स ऑफ कंटिन्यूइंग फेलियर, फेलियर इन व्हाट? फेलियर टू सिक्योर जस्टिस फॉर whom? फॉर द विक्टिम्स ऑफ कम्युनल वायलेंस का मतलब हो गया राइट्स। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे देखो वो कम्युनिटी वाली वर्ड आ गया, कम्युनिटी के माइनॉरिटीज वाला। ठीक है, माइनॉरिटी के विक्टिम्स, कौन से विक्टिम्स? राइट विक्टिम्स। So they become victims of communal violence, right? And acquittal means to be absolved, to let go. This is a word that we have discussed recently. Acquitted, let go. ठीक है, जो न्यू बैचेस है उनको ध्यान में आ जाएगा कि हमने ये वर्ड डिस्कस किया है। So vocabulary, let's see now. Here, acquittal is absolved, exculpated, and if you remember, I had given you one more word, exonerated. Outskirts of an area would mean suburbs. आउटस्कर्ट्स ऑफ द सिटी, तो वो सबर्बन एरियाज हो जाएगा। आउटस्कर्ट्स, स्कर्ट्स का मतलब होता है आसपास जाना। ठीक है, ये आउटस्कर्ट्स हो जाता है। क्लोजर का मतलब होता है कंक्लूजन। डिजेक्शन इज लाइक व्हेन somebody is rejected, so he feels dejected। ठीक है, रिजेक्शन के बाद जो फीलिंग आती है वो डिजेक्शन की होती है। तो और रिजेक्टेड क्या है? एक्सेप्टेंस का ऑपोजिट। Verdict is the final decision that is given to them. That's the verdict. Competence, how well you are able to compete with your competitors, है ना, तो वो आ जाएगा। Aptitude, proficiency, it is a noun formation. Competence. Flouted, you flout the rules. That means you disobey, violate, transgress. Or simple word, break. You break the rules. Contrived is something that is affected. Affected का मतलब होता है असर होना, नहीं। Affected का मतलब होता है pretentious। ये भी मीनिंग आ सकता है affectation का। ठीक है, तो अगर जो pretentious होगा तो वो false होगा। और contrive का मीनिंग और भी हुआ जो कि fix है। fix का मतलब क्या हुआ कि दो लोगों ने, the people contrived, and as I gave you the word plan or scheme, so they contrived and they came to a particular decision. तो ये हो जाएगा हमारा scheming mind. To bring the guilty to book. ठीक है, ये पूरा है इसमें to bring to book. I have explained this, right? To punish the guilty. Illustrative is something that is explanatory, instructive. And tortuous में taught word आ जाता है। taught का मतलब होता है curve. राइट, सो इट इज ट्विस्टेड, वाइंडिंग, इसे विंड नहीं कहते, इसे वाइंडिंग कहते हैं। वाइंडिंग का मतलब होता है जैसे चाबी भरना। तो कोई खिलौने होते हैं या कुछ होते हैं जिसमें, या घड़ियां भी होती हैं जिसमें चाबी भरना पड़ता है, सो दैट बिकम्स वाइंडिंग। मियंडरिंग कैन बी रोड्स, ऐसे गोल घुमावदार रोड्स जो जाते हैं पहाड़ी पर या घाटों पर, तो दैट बिकम्स मियंडरिंग, ट्विस्टेड, वाइंडिंग। और यू कैन यूज द वर्ड सर्पेंटाइन फॉर द रोड्स ऑल्सो, राइट, ऐसे गोल घुमावदार होते हैं। So tortuous means something that is crooked, something that is curved. तो आप crooked word भी relate कर सकते हो, right? And if you can relate it to the word now, tortuous से word एक distort आता है। तो distort का मतलब होता है distort, distortion. The image was distorted, disfigured. तो उसका टॉट यानी जो फिगर था या जो शेप था वो बिगड़ गया है, डिसफिगर हो गया है, तो उसे डिस्टॉर्शन कहते हैं। ठीक है, तो tortuous is all the crooked things or the twisted things, right? So that's all for today, and I hope you will read or go through all these on a daily basis. Do not miss a single. That is what I would suggest. So that's all from my side. Thank you, and have a logical week ahead.